The following is a presentation of TFNN. Live at TFNN, the Power Trading Hour, with your host, David White. Now, the author of The Path of Least Resistance and the Tech Insider, David White.
Very, very spooky, children. Very, very. I've got a horrible echo going on here. Hang on just a second. Do we have that in the control room? Nope. Okay, well, I'm just going to turn my headphones down for a minute then and try to figure out why it's doing it during the break. But today, very interesting day out here. The Halloween, the contraction of All Hallows Evening, also known as All Hallows Eve, is a yearly celebration observed in a number of countries on October 31st, the eve of Western the Western Christian Feast of All Hallows Day. Let's see, maybe we've got... maybe I've fixed it here. Yes, I did. I had, I know what I've done here. I occasionally do it, and that is leave the DIN audio on, and I have to turn it off. There we go. Mute all. Operator error. Thanks, Sheldon. Anyway, another wonderful day. It initiates the Triduum of Hallows Ma, the time in which the liturgical year dedicated to remembering the dead, including saints, martyrs, and all the faithful departed believers. I believe this actually goes back to the Druids, which is what, like the 600 A.D. in England? But I don't remember exactly. All I remember is that Halloween was always great for one big reason, and that was the Ghost and Mr. Chicken. They always had the scary organ music. The Ghost and Mr. Chicken, always my favorite. Don Knotts had that creepy organ music going on. Well, I digress enough, and of course, we win so many awards for digressing on this show that I'm going to have to build a new wing onto the mansion here to hold all of those. But let's get to the news. Asian markets closed lower with Japan's Nikkei down about 1.2%, Hong Kong and the Hang Seng off about 0.4%. Korea's Kospi was off 1.34%. The reason mostly was Sony. We'll get to that in a little bit, but a little bit of bird flu out there in the Asian markets. In the European vacation, we had all the people out there singing Holiday Road, mostly because they were unemployed. It's still fairly sick. The numbers came out from the Eurozone, and it has hit a record high of 12.2% in September in the Eurozone as a whole, with Spain's rate staying at about 26.6%, and Italy now rising to 12.5%, which was like a whole point bounce. So still seeing a lot of weakness, although everybody tells us Europe is coming back and it's coming back strong. Certainly not seeing it in the employment picture. Of course, we're talking about Sony. They came out with earnings. The maker of Japanese electronics had worse than expected performance, a setback after years of striving to return to its former glories. Also featured weak sales of video cameras and a steep slump in personal computers in the July-September quarter. Smells like Teen Spirit. We saw Facebook come out after the bell last night, and it spiked up anywhere from 58 to 58 to 55. And then during the earnings call, it started to slump rather quickly. And why did it do that? Not scary Oregon music, actually a thing called youth engagement. Let's listen to the conference call.
I want to say a few words about youth engagement on Facebook. As we've said previously, This is a hard issue for us to measure because self-reported age data is unreliable for younger users. So we've developed other analytical methods to help us estimate usage by age. Our best analysis on youth engagement in the U.S. reveals that usage of Facebook among U.S. teens overall was stable from Q2 to Q3. But we did see a decrease in daily users, specifically among younger teens. We won't typically call out such granular data, especially when it's of questionable statistical significance, given the lack of precision of our age estimates for younger users. But we wanted to share this with you now since we get a lot of questions about teens.
Yes, we get a lot of questions about teens, so we're going to talk a good minute in this conference call about something that is statistically meaningless, just to forget it, forget we mentioned it. And, of course, no one did because the whole thing was a giant CYA, and that CFO wanted a CYA, and he got it, if anybody says anything. But the whole thing is, what can you say? It is about whether or not people think Facebook is cool any longer. Now, I think it got down to 46 or 47 during the day, and then it's come back up. In fact, let's take a quick look at it. See if I have it out there. Yeah, it's up $2 right now, up about 4.6%. Was down to a day low of 46.50. Let's take a quick look at the chart on that just so we can see. Facebook, FB. Okay, let's go back to 1 year out here. This thing's got a nice little gap back here, somewhere between the 27 and 33.50 area. Normally these big gaps like here that have never been tested get set up, and maybe this is the next big three-gap play coming out here. But you would need to have another huge gap up. I'm not going to be shorting this thing anytime soon, but my guess is that without Instagram, these guys would be in a world hurt like eBay is without PayPal. This company was cool in the last decade, a little less cool this decade, and my guess, non-existent in the next decade. These, especially when you're going after heavy users of this, when you really contrast this next to LinkedIn, which are similar companies, Facebook's still struggling with a great model on how to make money. We've got huge amounts of customers. We're just not exactly sure on how we're making money. We did see kind of the ad revenue go up and go down. But again, this thing has only been really in gear for 3 months, and we have no idea how over time this is going to play out. But what they did come out and do was do the CYA, and that was just to make sure that they didn't get sued and then, of course, have to say, well, we really didn't mean it. It's statistically anomalous. Just forget it. Just drive by, ignore the man behind the curtain. But, of course, traders are not like that. They instantly don't ignore the man behind the curtain. A lot of apologies out there today. I'm so sorry we even brought it up. But kind of interesting nonetheless. But I could see, where this could be a real big miss one day when the earnings come out, when you find out that the cool factor is gone and it is all somewhere else. Let's go back. We got that one. IPOs came out. We talked about those on Tuesday. 58.com symbol is WUBA. It's the Craigslist of China. It puts together buyers and sellers in a forum that they've not really ever had in China, and looking very good. The stock came out at the high end of the range, about $17, trading most of the day out here in the 25s. But if you're looking for another one of these huge Chinese company with a dubious reporting, because you'll never really know what happens until this thing blows up in your face one day, which is the worst part of these Chinese companies. It's for you, WUBA. I know that they're a landmine. You can make a lot of money on them. I certainly, if you have to trade it, probably wouldn't marry it, if you know what I mean. Okay, soda streams. Don't cross the streams. If everybody's figured out my titles here today, they have a similar theme. Maybe somebody's figured them out there, but it may or may not have come out there. What can you say? SodaStream came out, numbers missed, and of course, let's pop up a chart of that real quick. SODA. You know, it could be worse. They've got a couple of gaps down already. Probably going to find support somewhere around that $20 or $52 area, which is a gap that goes back to May 9th of this year. This has been a stock that has been all things to many people, but not so much as anything as a pump and dump by our good friend Mr. Kramer on CNBC. Rather oblique about it this morning. The Israeli company earned 76 cents a share in the third quarter, down 5% from last year, but 4 cents above its views. Sales rose 29% to 144 million shares, just shy of its forecast of 145 million shares. Of course, $145 million. Of course, a lot of people are saying that this is a indicator of Bed Bath & Beyond's fall sales. And its first revenue miss in the 8 quarters. These companies that are like this in the soda business tend to be hot, and then they're not. People finally get tired of hauling back the water and making the soda themselves, and it tends to be a faddish kind of company. At least historically, maybe these guys will figure a way to break the mold. But in the past, we've seen so many of these housing, especially kitchen appliances, that have gone the way of the dodo bird. What can you say? I like soda for one big reason, and that is that it is an Israeli company. I always was hoping it would stay up nice and high, because if there was ever any fighting in the Mideast, this would be the first stock that I got to short. Unfortunately, of course, it's come down, probably not a great short now, but anytime I'm always looking for the Persians to go at it again and start throwing around nuclear weapons. This is probably one of the stocks that's going to be the most highly leveraged to trouble in the Gulf. But not so much now. It's already down. Time to carbo load. You got a carbo load out there. Carbo Ceramics, CRR. Let's take a quick look at that. And what can we say? This thing, very big surprise for Wall Street. No one was predicting this, but apparently these guys in the last 4-6 weeks had a huge run. These guys make little bits of sand and gunk forced down the hill.
Andy Hecht, the host of the Commodities Hour, recently launched his newsletter service, the Technomental Commodity Report, and only 6 weeks in, Andy has already recorded a triple-digit winner. Andy advised his subscribers to purchase a long-term call option at 46 cents on July 11th, and then sent out a special update Friday, August 16th, advising his subscribers to close that position at $1.40. That's a 204% profit in just 5 weeks. The Technomental Commodity Report by Andy Hecht is released each Thursday morning, and right now you can get a month-long free trial to this subscription while locking in the low introductory rate of only $39 a month. Andy Hecht has been a commodities trader for over 3 decades. Let his experience work for you. Sign up for your month-long free trial to the Technomental Commodity Report today at TFNN.com.
with the launch of Tiger TV. TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, David White, Larry Pesavento, Andy Hecht, Victor Jones, or Terrell Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing.
You've always taken the long view when it comes to investing, but what if there's an opportunity right under your nose? What if you could be more responsive to market trends to seek to boost your portfolio performance right now while seeking to reduce your overall risk? At Direction Funds, we connect investors with alternative strategies that seek to maximize their returns. Smart investors deserve smart alternatives. Find yours at directionfunds.com. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risk charges, and expenses of Direction Funds carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Funds. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact the Direction Funds at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. Investing in index funds may be more volatile than investing in broadly diversified funds. Distributed by Rafferty Capital Markets, LLC. Wouldn't it be great if you could get a red light, green light indicator that gives you signals on 25 different futures contracts? Now you can with Taz Signal Box. This red light, green light market profile system dynamically updates 24 hours a day and provides you with important trend and trade signals on 9 different commodities, 9 different indices, and 8 different currencies. Right now you can receive a 2-week free trial to Taz Signal Box. For all the details and to find out how the Signal Box works, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Very, very spooky out there, children. Very spooky. Anyway, Visa, it was everywhere you wanted to be except up. Visa missed analyst estimates on revenue. The credit card giant pumped up the net income by 15% year over year. Additionally, the company announced a $5 billion share buyback program, usually music to stockholders' ears. But today, not so much. So what do we have? Visa off about 2.8%, off about $5. Take a quick look at the chart. And make this a little smaller right here. Do we really have anything out here? You certainly have a fairly decent sign of a high, and that is 3 higher highs on the lighter volume. As we went through the July 25th high at $196, you had 5.4 million shares. You broke through it and went to $200.86 on 4.8 million shares on September 23rd, and of course on October 29th, 2.7 million shares, and got to 205.26. So this pattern is known as 3 drives to a top, and just about perfect out here. It's exactly what you're looking for, which is 3 drives. Volume falls out on each drive. Energy falls out on each drive. And, you can really see it when you get up into these highs out here. But everybody's willing to take their cash rather quickly these days. Very skittish view of the market. But it's not everywhere you want it to be if you were long today. Okay, other things that we have. Oh, we've got something to go along with this out here, and that is this.
Come fly with me, let's fly away. If you can use some exotic booze, there's a bar in far Bombay. Come on, fly.
Yes, you can fly, and you can fly with your iPad now. U.S. safety authorities, the FAA, the FCC, the EIEIO all got together Thursday and said that they will allow airlines to relax their rules on mobile devices on airborne aircraft. And, of course, easing regulations that have been criticized for years. Now, normally I wouldn't bring this up too much, but there's just too many great clips to play for audio out here. But one thing you should know is that there is a company out there that specializes in internet on airplanes. And, of course, this thing's had a decent move in a market that's rather flat out here today. That is a GEO. A GEO is the symbol. So keep an eye on that if you can.
We have clearance, Clarence. Roger, roger. What's our vector, Victor?
And, of course, Airplane, one of my favorite movies, so I had to weasel that in there, too. So what else do we have? Herbalife, Pershing Square's Bill Ackman plans to deliver new information on the nutrition company Herbalife, and this is going to be, like the second week of November, told by a Fox business partner. The belief is that, once again, he's figured out some ways of showing how this is one big, huge scam. Of course, this is a big war between Ackman and Carl Icahn, the Godfather. Oh, I've got to have that music ready all the time now, don't I? I feel like I'm being shiftless. Anyway, it's as soon as that news came out, Herbalife dropped about 2%, or down about $1.51. Still up here in this $66 range. Any independent view of this company, even if it wasn't a fraud, probably has it priced out here in the mid-30s. I'm watching it because one of these days the war is going to be over between these twos, and this thing is going to come back to at least its value if it's not a fraud, and more likely find out that it has some major weaknesses. We do know that 83 or 84% of all the products it sells go to people that are, quote, quote, inside the channel. These are people that are talking about reselling it. These multi-level marketing companies like Amway, Herbalife. The question is, are they a pyramid? They certainly follow the power law rule, where 20% of the people get 80% of all profits ever made in these things. So I don't know. Can you say it is? I think probably they need to at least be a little bit more regulated. So we're going to be looking at a lot of stocks out here after the break. And you can always give me a call, 877-927-6648. That's 877-927-6648.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
No matter where you listen to TFNN programming, we want you to know you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones and iPads, located at the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a mobile connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all of our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and radio call and talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com. Educating investors.
Daryl Martin coined the phrase diagnostic trading, and we're happy to announce that his diagnostic box spread analyzer has finally been released. The Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer helps you easily identify the best box spreads on Nadex in seconds, plus you receive access to the diagnostic deviation levels, as well as step-by-step training videos teaching you how to trade Nadex spreads so you can quickly master the mechanics of this simple yet powerful trading instrument. By pulling live data from the Nadex exchange, the Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer does all the math for you, calculating risk, reward potential, distance to break even for both outright spreads and spreads used to hedge the underlying market. Visit the front page of TFNN.com today to get your 2-week free trial to Daryl Martin's Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer and gain access to the valuable information it can provide when trading the Nadex box spreads. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's Nadex.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Harmony Gold. For more information, just click the Harmony Gold banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And as always, got just a little bit of scary music. Of course, The Ghost and Mr. Chicken. The scariest movie ever made. If you're an 8. Don Knotts. What a thespian. I'm thinking about using this music to play outside at night. The kids come by for their trick or treat. Of course, we've got a little bit of trick and treat with Starbucks today. They delivered mixed fourth quarter earnings last night and opened up lower only to, like the rest of the market, kind of move higher. This is pretty much up to the 22nd highs. What was the high of that day? 81.08, and we've gone over that. Volume is okay and strong. You've got a little bit of a bullish engulfing out here. Of course, Starbucks actually trying to put a lid on expectations going forward, mostly because they're going to have to spend a lot of money. But this is a bubblicious market, and of course, people are just going to say, "You're lying to us. We know you're going to the moon. You're going to be $100 in no time." In fact, we had several analysts come out and say that earlier in the day, and I think they were able to cause a little bit of a short squeeze in the stock. to get it up here and close higher in the day. Of course, the market has turned around a little bit. Probably no real big surprise. As I've been talking for the last few days, we are in a period of time known as fund buying. The last 3 days of the month and the first 2 days of the month, by their charter, funds must be fully invested, which seems almost nuts, except when you find out there are money managers and there are fund managers. Fund managers try to get the best returns that they can, being 100% invested in a particular sector like technology or industrials or transportation. The money managers have to assume that they're 100% invested all the time because they're going to put their own hedges on those funds. And they've got to know that all the money is being hedged to have the proper amount of money and hedge correct. So you've got these two counteracting markets, but you've got 80% of all these ETFs and funds and everybody else that has a charter is going to be 100% invested in these next 5 days. So what does Mr. Market do? It doesn't suffer fools. It jacks the price up as high as possible. So those people will walk into the store and pay the absolute highest price possible. Because like they say on Wall Street, if you're not buying the top, you're just not trying. Because, of course, you're using somebody else's money. You're not using their money. You're not using your money. You're using their money. Or as they say, other people's money, OPM. The best money in the world, actually, because you privatize the success and the earnings, and you socialize the losses, as we've seen over the last few years. Anyway, Starbucks, nice little move out here. Nice little bullish engulfing, and the volume's not all that bad. Wouldn't be a company that I would be shorting anytime soon. But certainly a lot of these stocks are finding that as soon as they go up to these tops, the selling begins. So what else do we have going on in this market? I wanted to look at a few of the other stocks that are moving. Probably the most interesting thing today is that gold's off almost $25, 1324.70 on the current contract. If we look at the GLD, the question is the movement in the markets in the last few days. Is that signaling a belief of higher interest rates? And I've been looking at several sectors, and maybe I'll go into it tomorrow. But it certainly seems that I'm finding a lot of stocks that are breaking down in certain sectors that would be highly interest rate sensitive. So are the big guys at Wall Street just figuring that they're going to get out before the last minute and ringing the register, or are we at that point where the last man out turn off the lights? It's kind of tough to tell. We've had two nice gaps up in gold out here, and the question is whether or not we're going to get those filled. That would take the GLD back down to about 122. 123, and I would not be surprised that this thing comes back at maybe even to the 125 mark out here. And I still haven't seen the kind of bloodletting I would love to see in gold. And that would be probably back down to the 114.68 on GLD, and maybe even lower than that. And maybe that would get enough people that are bullish in gold to get out of this and move along. Going to look at some other stocks of interest here fairly quick. We were talking about airlines earlier. Interesting to see Southwest Airlines still up at these highs. No real signal, but for a company like this, you basically have, what do we got here, 9. Let's change that to a 2, to a 0. You have this thing basically in a parabolic move, and the question is when these things are going to fall. But my guess is you're going to get a close back under the SMA, the simple moving average of 9, or a 3x3 displaced movage. But this is probably a good one. In looking at it, I suspect that we've got a setup where this thing wants to come back into the mid or lower 14s when this thing does break, as many of these stocks have. You know, when we go back and look at them, I think someone brought up Netflix yesterday, NFLX. I still suspect we're going to get a bounce out of this thing. Not much of one so far today. But I think we could get back in maybe into that 355, 360 range. The candle before the huge bearish engulfing, we might see back in here. Continuing to see so many news articles that are pimping the stock. Pimp my ride and pimp my stock. Certainly Netflix no end to the amount of taking the whip to this old nag as it goes up to these highs. But interesting nonetheless. We've got a few other stocks that are interesting, especially in these housing stocks. We talked about 3 drives to a top, and I think Mohawk is coming out with earnings fairly quickly. Let's see if we've got an earnings date out here. Yeah, well, after the bell tonight or tonight. It says, so what do we have? MHK, let's take a quick look, because I think this one's going to tell us a lot. This is a big Berkshire Hathaway Buffett stocks. What is it, MHK? Well, I tell you what, there are a lot of earnings this week. After market close. It's going to tell us a lot, but this is set up so much like the rest of them in these either triple tops or 3 drives to a top. This is certainly one we want to watch after the bell tonight, 134.21. It's going to tell us a lot about how the housing market is, what they have to say in the earnings call, the forecast also. And you've got this 134 area as just very strong resistance level, and of course Buffett's behind this one, so I'm not going to be shorting it because he'll be able to run it a few times before he bails and exits stage left. But have a lot of stocks reporting after the bell tonight. This is one that we want to be watching. Deckers came out and reported several days ago. And what do we have to say? It's certainly holding these highs, but it certainly looks like the volume today is very light. A lot of these stocks that have had surprise earnings have broken above the previous highs like Decker and have come back into the trading range. This one looks like it's going to be very close out here. You're looking at 68.84. Every close below that adds to the negative side of this thing, and maybe a good chance this thing could come back to the maybe the 62 and a half area on Deckers. But like I said, a lot of these stocks that have had huge volume, blown out tops, have not been able to hold these previous highs and turned right about and headed lower. Charter Communications, of course, this thing was another one of these things that blew out earnings, only to find out that there were a lot of bad things, a lot of cockroaches. And, of course, the cockroach theory is you see one, there's 100 you don't see. That's what's happened with Charter Communications. Another one of these that broke out and just could not hold its previous high of 137.29 that we saw back here on August 2nd. And what the deal is on this is, if you remember just, 3, 4, 5 weeks ago, Charter Communications was in a big fight with CBS on whether or not they could carry their shows. What we did find out is that about Charter Communication lost about 350,000 subscribers over that time. And, of course, the earnings look good until you found out that its seed corn had left. This is also going to put a lot of fire into negotiations of any other standard carrier of cable. People like DirecTV and the Hopper guys and all the rest now have to worry about just how much it's going to cost them if someone can't get their favorite shows on cable. Will they just cut the cord? Well, we know now from Charter Communications that's exactly what was going on. So keep an eye on that. What else do we have going on? Haynes Celestial. This is another one that was up here at these highs. I'm going to watch this one real close, too. One of the things that Starbucks did come out and say over the last couple of days is they're going after the tea business. I don't know if we're all going to be that guy from the Mentalist having his cup of tea. I think Americans are more coffee drinkers, but maybe my stalker that follows me today can tell us about the price of tea in China. But this certainly gave a fairly decent signal that the Haynes Celestial Group, and if I'm not mistaken, a big tea company, another tea company up here, was up here at the highs. But anyway, 85.48. 3 million shares, and of course you got into it with 640,000 shares. This thing's back in the trading range. My guess is that these people are probably a little worried about Starbucks coming after them and making the same kind of tea makers and everything else in the coffee business and going after that business. This thing's right at the line for the 9-day moving average. It closed below that. I think give you a pretty good indication that this thing was getting ready to give it up, but keep an eye on it. We've got Andy making some private IMs to me that are rather interesting, and we've got a couple of minutes to go. We're going to try to get in one, but one of these days, it's going to probably have to be on the last day I'm ever on any kind of radio show. I'm going to tell you the day that I met Rodney Dangerfield. Not only did I meet Rodney Dangerfield, I lived kind of the life that you see for one bright, shining night, like The Hangover. It was a night of extraordinary magnitude. Met Rodney, and I don't think Andy says he's met him too. I met him, and he was completely naked. Was he completely naked there, Andy, when you met him? Was he standing behind a curtain on a stage, totally naked, wearing a robe for about a man, maybe a fourth of his size, in all his glory? And was there cocaine strippers? Were there people going to jail? It was one of those nights, and decorum probably means that I won't be able to finish this story on the air. But one day I will tell it. Let's see, what else do we have out here? DLR, Deckers, APC. Let's take a quick look at this one. Anadarko Petroleum. I'm sure Andy's going to get all over energy. He had a wonderful call on crude being up there at the highs. I'm still waiting for my gasoline price to dip below that all magical $3. We're at $3.04, I think I saw last night at Thornton's locally. I still want that, and it keeps going down, but I think they've lost the ladder to move that price down. Anadarko Petroleum up here looks like it's made at least a minor high up here. We're looking at the last high, which was just a few days ago. Let me zoom in here for you all. And that is the October 21st high, $98.23. And, of course, 2.4 million shares yesterday. It went above it. It closed below it. It is still above that 3-day or the 9-day moving average, which makes me think we've got some other stuff. There's one thing that we need to talk about, and probably don't have time to do it now, but it is the whole issue of stocks that hit 9 that go to 10 and stocks that hit 90 that go to 100. So we'll discuss that when we come back. It's kind of the reason why everything ends in 99 cents in the United States. Anyway, give me a call, 877-927-6648.
Patterns, profits, and peace of mind.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pesavento's trading newsletter.
Patterns, profits, and peace of mind.
In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the Forex market, and more. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 full weeks. That's an $85 value. Yours free when you register right now.
Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind.
And get the edge you've been looking for.
Have you subscribed to the Gold Report yet? On Wednesday, August 14th and Thursday, August 15th, Tom O'Brien advised his Gold Report subscribers to close out 6 of their 9 open positions, all winning trades ranging from a 10.69% profit to an incredible 48% profit in just one equity. Tom O'Brien brings an incredible wealth of knowledge and experience to the gold market and the equities within the industry. That's almost 12 years since this powerful newsletter first began. And right now, you can get a 30-day free trial to the Gold Report by visiting TFNN.com. Make sure you're a subscriber as this volatile gold market makes its way back into positive territory after declining all the way from $1,900 to under $1,200 an ounce in only 2 years. Get your 30-day free trial today by visiting TFNN.com.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
What's the one thing that pulls people back from the breakthrough that they're moving towards? What's the only thing that really stops people from taking action? You and I both know the answer, and sure, we can come up with the reasons why we're not where we want to be, but the only reason that we don't do more with our life is fear. Or if you're an overachiever, call it stress. Simply put, there's something that happened to us in our past that's holding us back from the life we deserve, yet you and I are okay, we're here. So why should we let our past control our future? Exactly. We shouldn't. Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes with TFNN.com, and when it comes to your trading and investing, I can help you overcome your fear of loss. Together, we'll turn weakness into strength with a system I've developed called Mastering Probability. I'll teach you how to make your money work harder for you than you do for it. I'll teach you the tools that provide financial freedom. Go to the homepage of TFNN.com, click on my name, Steve Rhodes, and begin your journey of mastering probability risk-free. It's time to become a pioneer of your future versus a prisoner of your past.
Join Andy Hecht as he teaches you how to make money in commodities. The Commodities Hour, next on TFNN.
Very, very scary. Okay, we've had enough. Anyway, wanted to discuss one thing, and that is when you see stocks that are $9. There have been a multitude of studies. I've duplicated them, come up with the same result, and that is probably if you're shorting a stock, you don't want to be shorting a $90 stock. The reason why is overwhelmingly, if a stock gets to $92, 80% of the time, it won't fail until it's at least hit $100. And probably not a bad kind of idea is to buy $90 stocks and sell them at 100. It's one of the highest probabilities out there. The same probability actually exists for stocks that are $9 and $900. We've seen that in Priceline. We're seeing that kind of movement in Google. Of course, Google has had a nice run. We talked a little bit about their barges that they're setting up for Google Glasses. They announced midday, probably about 5 minutes before the show started, that the Nexus 5 will be out. And that will be available, I think, just in the next couple of days, even off contract for $350. That is their flagship product designed by Google themselves. And of course, it is it's not one that they really want to get involved in selling so much as it is the definitive standard for what Android will work with, although it's a nice phone. They're not actively pushing at it, but $350 off contract, very, very good. So we'll have to keep it on that. Wanted to keep and check in, just hear what we had with the volume and the movement. But this is pretty much what I expected. I suspect we have one more day up in the S&P. We're trading out at 1766.43. We've got 2.5 billion shares, and we're at in the midst of fund buying. That pretty much goes away over the next 2 days. And could you see Monday buying still? I think you can, but so far probably want to keep your powder dry and wait for it. I think we've got a few of more of these stocks that are going to hit highs, probably going to gap higher like Facebook, trade lower in the day, and we're probably going to see a little bit of late day buying in these. But we really do, we're at these highs. Do we really have a lot of juice out here? The other thing we want to worry about, at least somewhat, is I don't want to be short until I get a decent signal, and that's mostly going to be the advanced decline line that we see up here at this show. At these levels. And let's get it real quick. Let's take a look at them. We were running about 45.55 at the beginning of the show. Now we're running at about 53.45 on the NYSE. So just a little bit more buying than selling out here, and not uncommon in fund buying. So we just need to keep a decent look at this as we go into the end of the day. Of course, most people lose money when they're trading out of season and they don't have a really good signal. And I think right now, a little mucky. I think what we are waiting for is a bright and definitive signal, and I think everybody's going to know it when they see it in the next few days. Anyway, we've got Andy following me, stalking me, as he does on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Hope he had a good webinar last night. All those that attended had a good time. And we'll see you tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time.
Basil Chapman has just announced that he will be hosting a one-day online master trader class. Friday, November 8th, Basil Chapman will teach you the essential fundamentals he uses when trading the market with his Chapman Wave methodology. Included in this full-day online master trader class is 1 month of Basil's daily newsletter service, The Opening Call, a $128 value, as well as a copy of his CD book introducing the Chapman Wave methodology, which usually sells for $249. Join Basil Chapman for this powerful one-day online master trader class Friday, November 8th, which will be archived if you can't attend live, where he'll give you a complete understanding of the Chapman Wave methodology and how to apply it to profitably trade any market in any time frame. For all the details and to reserve your spot while taking advantage of early bird pricing and saving $200 off the regular price, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.